It is January 20th, 2026, and what you're looking at right here is the Europeans' total snowfall forecast for the next 7 days, and it's giving everyone a lot of snow. And here are the temperature anomalies for this upcoming weekend. It's going to be cold. It's likely going to be snowy for a lot of people. So let's get into the latest updates. And of course, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you like the video, let's talk about the weather. As always, I like to start with a quick look at our live radar. There's not much going on. Some lake effect snow in western Michigan, the UP of Michigan, and then out here through portions of upstate New York, the Buffalo region, and then up here through the Watertown region. And you can see we still do have those winter storm warnings in effect. All right, let's get into our 7 to 10 day forecast. This is the latest European run. We're going to move through tomorrow and into Wednesday. Not much is happening, but it's very cold out east. We could have a couple clipper systems moving through the northern plains, upper Midwest, and Great Lakes region. We could still get some lake effect snow activated from this. Now, this is going to be a very, very cold time period ahead, obviously, the next week or two, and we're going to get a lot of ice likely on the Great Lakes. The deeper you get into winter, typically the less significant lake effect snow you see because the waters start to cool, and what really creates that heavy lake effect snow is the temperature gradient between the cold air moving over the much warmer waters. But again, there's still some opportunity here. So a couple clipper systems over the next 48 hours. We do start to get our polar jet collapsing a little bit more as we get into Thursday, and we get a little bit of moisture streaming off the Gulf here. Now our subtropical jet is going to try and turn on out here as we get towards the end of the week, and that's what's going to help juice up this winter storm for this weekend. Moving into Friday, again, you start to see this flow of moisture off the Gulf. You start to see this moisture moving in off the Pacific, and here comes our polar jet collapsing into the southern plains. I feel like I just said this last video, but again, I make videos every day, so there's not always a ton that changes. I will say with the latest updates, we're seeing even more snow and more cold. This winter storm has trended even more intense. Let's move through Friday. Now we're getting real close to forecasting range here. You can see this is about 90 hours out, so just over 3 days, 3 to 4 days, when we begin to see this major ice storm forming. Snow falling to the north, some very cold rain to the south. We move through Saturday into Saturday afternoon, and now we could potentially be seeing snow falling from really the east coast all the way out through, again, the central and southern Rockies. You've got this big ice storm through portions of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. We move into Sunday. This storm begins to move off to the east. We are getting a lot of snow through portions of the central to southern plains, Ohio Valley, and out through potentially North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. We move into Monday. This system actually begins to tilt a little bit on the latest Euro and wants to drive some of this snow up the coast. This would mean big snow for DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York City, Long Island, Boston, everywhere up the New England coast. Now we're getting a little bit far here. I still don't know if I believe this storm track completely. Again, we're getting into the forecasting range where this winter storm forming down here, the confidence is very, very high. The storm track, does this system really just try and move directly off into the east, or does it try to move up the coast? Do we get a little bit of tilt in this trough as it amplifies down into the southern plains that could create that southwesterly flow and allow this to dump absolutely ridiculous amounts of snow up there through the mid-Atlantic and New England? That's still a little bit of a question. And then right behind this, as we get into early next week, Monday, Tuesday, and again, the whole time here, we're freezing out east. Really, through the Rockies, we start to get some cooler temperatures as well, but we're very dry out west. Getting into early next week, we're average to slightly above average out west, and we're still seeing this cold air funnel into the east. Maybe another decent clipper system moving into the Great Lakes region out towards maybe the mid-Atlantic or New England. Now, once we get out towards the end of this run, the west finally wants to get some precipitation back, but this may not even be till February. Again, though, this is 288 hours out now, so towards the end of the run, the confidence isn't going to be as high. Take a look at the latest GFS. The latest GFS throws some snow potentially into Dallas, Fort Worth, portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina. Also tries to bring this snow up the coast a little bit more here through, again, DC, Baltimore, Philly, New York City, and up towards Boston. So this could be a big day for a lot of people. Of course, we have to worry about this ice though. So if the Euro was correct right now, which it's not going to be, what could the snow totals look like? And this is the Kuchera. I should really be using the 10-to-1 ratio. I like using the Kuchera once we're within 48 hours when the models have a little bit better idea of what we could be seeing in the different layers of the atmosphere, which helps determine the snow ratio. But here's the Kuchera yet. Insane, a foot of snow throughout this entire region here on the latest Euro. Moving out east, we're seeing almost a foot into Charlotte, 14 inches. You guys can see this. This is all a foot or more snow. And then we're talking as we get out through portions of Virginia and then up the coast here, 20 plus inches is possible in some region. That's the latest Euro. If we go to the 10-to-1 ratio, it's going to bring our totals down a little bit. I think this is a better ratio to look at if we're outside of really 48 hours, still seeing a large swath of a foot or more through this region on the latest Euro. It's pretty crazy. Let's go back over here, still seeing a lot of snow as well. The GFS wants to push this snow a little bit farther south, maybe 6 to 8 inches into Dallas. Again, we still need a little bit of time, right? We're looking at this 100 to 120 hours out, putting a big swath of snow through portions of Arkansas, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, Tennessee, moving out east. The GFS also wants to drive this snow up the coast a little bit. You can see here, putting some decent snow down from DC up through New York City. And look at Appalachia here, 2 feet of snow. So the GFS agrees, a lot of snow here. Something interesting, the Canadian pushes this snow very far north. I actually don't fully agree with this. I think the confidence on the below freezing air, the very, very cold air, is just too high. I do believe we're going to get that freezing air very far south, which is going to bring that baroclinic boundary a little bit farther south. But hey, say the Canadian were to be correct, 1 to 2 feet of snow through the mid-Atlantic and New England coast. Is it a possibility? Yes, it's still a possibility. And the Canadian still puts down big snow out here in the Central Plains. Now we got to talk about the possibility of freezing rain. This right here would be catastrophic. I mean, a quarter to a half an inch of ice is catastrophic, and we're a half to 2 inches to almost 2.5 inches of ice here showing up on the Euro. Luckily, ice is very, very hard to forecast, and the probability that the model is anywhere near correct at this range, still, we're talking at least 4 days out, is pretty low, although I do think we are going to have ice issues here, and someone could see catastrophic levels of ice. You can see this pushing out here towards Alabama and Georgia, almost 3 inches of ice being forecast. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Moving out a little bit farther east, look at this, Georgia through portions of the Carolinas. This would be very, very, very bad. We want snow mix. We do not want this amount of ice here. I will say the Euro and GFS have trended our snow a little bit farther south. That is good because, again, the more snow you see, typically the less ice you're going to see. The models showing more snow in your area means they think that less warm air could be aloft. Maybe we are freezing, like I always say, from the floor to the ceiling, from the surface all the way up through the upper layers of the troposphere. All right, so how cold are we talking? Well, these are the feels like temperatures on the latest Euro, Sunday night into Monday morning. -3 to -9 wind chills into Dallas, -20 wind chills into portions of Oklahoma. This is crazy, crazy cold. We're trying to push wind chills down into the Gulf region, really touching the Gulf. Mobile, Alabama, 12-degree wind chills. Pensacola, 11 degrees. Insane cold. And through the upper Midwest and Northern Plains, really just on Friday here, a little bit earlier than that Sunday to Monday time frame. Look what we're seeing here. 47-degree wind chills through Minneapolis. We're getting into the mid-50s, -55, -54-degree wind chills up there in central to northern Minnesota, -37-degree wind chills in Chicago maybe. I mean, guys, this is just astronomical cold. And this isn't just going to affect us in the plains and down in Texas and through the Ohio Valley. This cold air is coming for the east. I mean, look as we push forward in time what we could see out east. That's the wind chills. This is the actual temperatures. We're talking actual temperatures in the negatives through portions potentially of the Ohio Valley through the Midwest here. And if you want to get crazy and go towards the end of this run, this would likely shatter records out here. We're seeing the potential for -10-degree wind chills through Charlotte, -5 to 8-degree wind chills through Atlanta, Georgia. Look at this, -teens up and down the coast. What would this look like? Your actual temperature down through portions of northern Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee could be in the negatives. This would be crazy. This is a little bit farther out. So this cold, we're not so sure about yet. But I will say this right here that also has the potential to break records. This right here is this weekend. So get ready to bundle up across the plains all the way out east. You can see this ridge though down in Florida trying to hold. I mean, look at this temperature gradient down here. We've got 80 degrees here just to the south of Jacksonville. You push up the coast towards Savannah and we could be below freezing. Let's take a look at our latest European ensemble. If you're in these blues, you're in these purples, you're in these pinks, the European ensembles really likes your chances for snow. This is only out about 6 days here. And look at this. You've got Dallas, northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, portions of upstate South Carolina. You've got Charlotte in here, most of North Carolina, and then pushing up the coast here, of course. This is some nice confidence for some good snowfall for you guys here. This means a lot of runs put snow into this region. Take a look at our GFS ensemble. It even pushes that a little bit farther south. I explained this in my last video, but I want to talk about it really quickly again. What is happening? Here's our 500 millibar height anomaly. So this is halfway up in the troposphere. The troposphere is where 99.9% of our weather happens here on planet Earth. Notice what's happening. Large Alaskan ridge, high heights, warm anomalies pushing up into the Arctic. You have this European ridge, Greenland ridge, Alaskan ridge. This is slowing down those tropospheric polar vortex winds. This is displacing the coldest air on the planet down into the mid latitudes. It has nowhere to go but down into the states. And you can see these higher heights, this warm air is taking over the Arctic. The Arctic doesn't like this, and this is why it displaces all that cold air down towards us. Now we move out a little bit further towards the end of January. Again, this is that time frame where we could see some records shattered out here. Look at these heights up over the Arctic. And this is another reason why if you do get snow from this system and you want it to stick around, you should be pretty excited, because sometimes when you get snow a little bit farther in the south or up the coast here, you get a lot of snow, it's melted in 3 to 4 days, sometimes even shorter than that. There's going to be a extended period likely of cold air behind this snowfall. So this snow may last all the way through the beginning of February, maybe longer. The teleconnections continue to look wild. This is our Arctic oscillation, and the mean here, the ensembles don't even want to go positive until basically March. So it's saying very, very cold air displaced down into the mid latitudes, potentially for a long period of time. Although the European weeklies, I don't really trust them too much past a certain point, obviously. So it's just interesting to see how crazy cold this is trending. You take a look at the European AI, the GraphCast, the GFS, it's all extremely, extremely negative. And I do believe this is a slight update from my last video where we talked about the MJO forecast. Again, an amplified phase 8, phase 1, phase 2 of the MJO for the next month. That is just cold air all over for the states, again, especially out east, and the chance for some more moisture, for some more snowstorms. This is a winter lover's dream here, this forecast we have in the short to medium range. And as if this all wasn't crazy enough, here's the temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. Very, very cold anomalies, insane cold, starting east of the Rockies and then pushing out towards the East Coast. You get into the 8 to 14 day, freezing out there still. You get into the 3 to 4 week, much of the same. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I try and post videos like this every single day, and I try to live stream every single day to answer all of your weather related questions. I do have an awesome weather Discord. If you want to join it, it's completely free. The link to my Discord is in the description of all of my YouTube videos. Great weather community in there, tons of weather updates, daily weather updates, and that's where I hop on to tell you guys when I'm getting on stream. My schedule's a little bit weird. Sometimes I'm streaming in the morning, the evening, but I try and do it every day. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video or in the next live stream.